All right, so let's do the final one. That's how I said the previous one is final, but now this is final. So let's go. I close this now, but sometimes when you are working with Corona, especially Corona use displacement on all of the assets, and what that does is that it gives the extrusion to give that 3D surface effect. But the problem is that takes a lot of RAM, and the when the let me don't worry, let me just try and explain it. When we were rendering, there were some notifications coming up that the displacement should be handled, and I changed something. And what I changed it to, actually I switched to, let me go to performance. So I switched this to word size. The problem with word size is it became extremely laggy and I had to stop the recording. So please don't change it from screen size. So 2 pixels is okay. And personally, I don't know, because it's been a while that I've used Corona, especially about all these memory issues. I used to actually put the displacement to off or something like that. I used to off it then, but I can't see where I will untick that. You can see I can't. Is either I choose this or I choose this. So that's not what I really, whether in Relay or Corona, I really don't like to use displacement because sometimes it's just so unnecessary. But Corona uses displacement a lot, so that's for that. Another thing I want to do is I need that spotlight over here, and like I was explaining, sorry, today is Sunday, so if you love football, you are going to see that I'm checking live scores because I can't watch while I'm working, so I have to be checking live scores. But that shouldn't be an issue to you. I told you the other time that you can come to 3dsky.org and get some components, but it still seems like the internet is still a little bit messing up. So what I'm going to do is this building have some spotlight on it already, so I can just select one and let me just move it, because that's not a main building, so I can actually detach that spotlight from it and come to the entrance like this, select the ceiling and isolate. So I want to try as much as possible to place the light. So that's how to do that. And it's VRAY file, so we might need to actually adjust it, but let's see the way it looks in rendering. So I'm going to start interactive rendering again. I will pause the recording so that I will not waste your time facing the scene loading. So this is coming again, so let me just pause. Okay, you're going to see that we are having this red color there, and what that means is that that material is not supported. You can see material type Autodesk generic is not supported, so there are a lot of materials that are not supported by Corona. So what I'm going to do first is I think I need to scale this, even though it's 200 now. I'm going to put it on 300, which is actually 150% off screen, and I'm going to adjust it. So then I'm going to select, there are many ways I can undo this particular issue, but I'm going to select it. So it has a very light material on it. So what I'm going to just do is I will change it to materials corona, and you can see under corona we have, oops, there's no corona light material really. No, this is it. I was going to say what's going on, because corona have its own light material as well, and you can see immediately I convert it to that, is not showing that red color again. So now all I need to do is to set the intensity. I usually set the intensity to 5. uh, I think that's all I need right now. Let's see the way it looks. So it's coming up, but the 5 seem to be a little bit small, so let me just window it. Oops, what's this? Sorry, this is what I wanted to use. Okay, so you can see it's not that effective, so maybe we should use 20 and see how it looks. Okay, you can see now it's showing that maybe I should use 50. Okay, I think that 50 is quite okay for me, because it's just there. It's not that I'm using it to light that area, it's just for it to be there. What else do I need to do now? I made some little adjustments. So if you look at this image, there is a shadow in front like this, and what that shadow did actually is to frame the image so that it directs your eye to the building itself. So you are not distracted from everything at the foreground here, so it's pointing you actually towards the building. So the building is where we have the bright area and all that. So what I did in that case was I just took 2 trees, 2 to 3, yeah, 3 trees. So these trees here, so let me show you, they are real trees. What I did was this. you know you know that we can have the bounding box, which is this. So instead of that bounding box, I changed it to point cloud. So that's why I have something like this. Of course, you can put it on full mesh too. So I put that one there, and also the same thing I did to this. So when I put the two of them, I got this nice shadow at the foreground. Then I copied this this one, that I put to cast the shadow on this wall the other time. So I put it here, and it casts some shadow around here. So these two cast shadows around here, this one casts shadow to this direction, and that's what you are seeing here. You can see this shadow, then the shadow that is coming around here. Of course, you can continue to play with it whichever way you like it to be, and that's the beauty of rendering, because in real life you can't do that, but with rendering you can actually compose your scene in such a way that it's going to be really effective, because you are actually doing a lot of work together, setting graphics, and all that. So now this is the final result. It's really looking great, and everything, you can see how it matches almost with this. If not that, I didn't use the bump that I used here. So the bump that I used there, I didn't use them and all that. Any other thing is actually, I didn't use this texture too. I used something else. So every other thing is really cool. What I want to do now is maybe, okay, let's check the render setting. Really, for the render setting, you don't have to set anything. There's really nothing that you have to set, because we did not do anything that is extra. But maybe you should go to render element and add maybe the render elements are used in post production. So let's just add this now. Maybe we should add reflect and refract. Then what else? What else do I want to add? I don't think I have any other thing I want to add. I'm trying to see if there is I'm trying to check one. So it does not have what I'm looking for. So let's just leave it at reflect and refract alone. So we are going to be using it later when it finishes rendering. So also we need to set the size. And this is where I, in a way, prefer V-Ray to Corona because I don't need to be setting the size. I can set the size on the camera itself. But it's not a big deal. So I set it to 1800. It was on 256 before. 256 pixel is very, very small. So let's set it to like 1800 in this case. Of course, we can use 4K, but I don't have that time for rendering. So what else do we need to set? Okay. You never can tell, anything can happen to your work while you are rendering, so it can crash and all that. So you want to come to Corona, I guess under system setting. Yeah. So you will come here, then you will enable autosave. So as it is rendering, it's going to be saving every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes. But you need to set where you want to save it to. So in this case, I'm going to be saving it into this folder. I'm going to just leave it at autosave anyway. And make sure you click OK. Now everything is set. Let me set one more thing, and I will explain some things to you while Corona is rendering. So let me enable bloom and glare, and I don't know if I like to on these lights in the afternoon rendering like this, but it's cool. It's creating those subtle effects that are actually cool. So maybe I should just leave it like that and just render. So after the rendering, I'm going to be back and show you some of the things that are very, very necessary. So let me pause. Before I pause, let me stop and save so that you will see everything that I do. I press Ctrl S to save, and now see saving. Now I can press render. So the render might take a while, so I'm going to just leave it to continue to render for a while. This is let's look at the way it goes. So let's just press render. So another thing we should have set, which we didn't set, is the denoising. And Corona is pretty fast because now we are on 4 minutes, let's say 5 minutes, and the image is looking good already. Of course, there's still a lot of noises, but the image is looking good. But I want to have a decent, rendering in record time, and also anywhere I see noises, I want to use denoising to undo it. So I'm going to cancel, and I'm going to show you one beautiful thing about Corona. So now, as I've cancelled it, I can come to scene, right? And there is denoising. So it's on none. Now I'm going to set it to Corona high quality. That's what I use. Some people use all these, but I don't. I use Corona high quality, and I can leave all these and press Ctrl S to save, and I'll return to the rendering. Then also you see some of the materials that are not, um that are not supported. So I can just right click and open Corona converter to convert them. So I'll just click convert and it's going to convert them to Corona. That's as simple as that. You can see successfully converted 87 of 110. So everything is converted. So now I'm okay to go. So that's very nice. So if you have unsupported elements, that's how you handle them. Also, there's a light on this lamp. I want to on it because I want to see that small effect of the glare on it, that glare. So I want to see it here. So I think everything is okay. I can press Ctrl S again. Now, does that mean that I'm going to start all over? No. So all I need to do is to come to Corona and resume from the last. And that's one beautiful thing that Corona have that V-Ray does not have. So where the rendering stopped is where it's going to continue. Now it's telling us that some render elements are missing. It's just because the rendering is just starting, so it's going to undo that. All these other things that you are seeing here, to me, they are not necessary. Just leave everything. Of course, I can turn on memory optimization, but for this, I don't need it, so I'm just going to wait till it finishes rendering. So when you are rendering in Corona, there are some things that you need to take note of. So one of them is that, okay, everything is good, everything is looking nice. You might want to check. I'm trying to, okay, this is it. So the reflect that we added, you can see how the reflection is showing. So we are going to actually use this in post-production, then you can see the refract too. So the refraction also is cool. This is the beauty, which is the main. So you can go to start. We are on post-production here. We can go to start. And one of the things you need to note when you are looking at the statistic is the noise level. So the noise level is unknown now. So because it is after every 4 or 5 passes that we get, the noise level. We are on the 7th pass now, and we are going to wait for it for a while. And I'm going to be explaining some things about that. But it's showing everything, the scene, the geometry, and all that. Then the performance. Then there's supposed to be some details about the amount of RAM used. I don't think I have it here, but it's supposed to be here actually. So maybe I've forgotten, maybe they have changed it in some of the new releases, because I use V-Ray mostly, and I've told you the reason, because V-Ray manage RAMs well than Corona. So I use Corona for some works, then I use V-Ray for some other works as well. It's not that deep. I use both. I use both very well for jobs, but I tend towards V-Ray mostly than Corona. That's what I mean over there. So I can see that start here. So, but okay, that means we will need to get to 10 passes. When we get to 10 passes, we will see noise level, and I will tell you something about the noise level. So let's wait for it. So it has come, and you can see we have 10.58 noise level at 12 minutes render time. So the most important thing is, as the noise level reduce, that means the image is becoming cleaner, and we can see where the noises are. One of the things that I do is I monitor the noises. So there is a lot of noises around here, so I can pick points like this, or select the render region and quickly render this place out. It should be faster now, and the noise level will be reduced a little bit. So you can see we get 11 passes now. We are going to get 12, 13, 14, 15. So I know this is where we have a lot of noise. If I should wait for the whole image to finish before this noise goes out is going to take a lot of time. So one of the things I do is I'll just window this area out, and by doing that the noise level will be reducing, faster. And that's one of the things that is not in V-Ray. So V-Ray does not have that. You can see now that it reduced to 9. Because merely looking at it, we can stop the rendering. If not for the noise around here, we can stop the rendering and use um the denoiser to take charge of every other thing. It will clean every other area. But I don't like to work that way anyway. I see, in fact, that's what a lot of Corona user does. So they will just render for about 15 minutes, maximum of 20 minutes. They have delivered the job. But me, I render for hours because the quality matters to me than the speed. So if I need speed, then I need to get another computer that is faster. So I'm not saying what their workflow is bad, because you need to be business minded as well. Deliver the job, move on, and move on to another job. So you can see now this area is becoming really, really good. So, and while that is going on, I can look at some other places. Really, I can't see any area where there is serious noise again. So maybe this place. And the thing about Corona is when your noise level reach 2, now as I hover my cursor on it, they will show you estimate of the remaining noise level in the image. A limit for the noise level can be set in render setting. Oh, I forgot to say that. Around 2% usually being enough for the final images, 5% for final images with denoising. So that means if I get to 5% on the noise level here, then is enough with the denoiser, then I'm good to go. So I've almost gotten to 5% already. So let's just wait for it. And of course, me, I like to get to even like 1 point something. That's why most of my Corona render images look really, really detailed with pixels, because I don't rush them. I know, okay, let's do 2, but I've rendered. Of course, those kind of renders, you just do them, not for client, or maybe you are not rushing. So I've rendered to maybe 1.5 before, 1.5 noise level before. So now this is clean as far as I'm concerned, but I'm still going to wait for it a little while because I know the others will be faster. So let's just wait for it. Even if others are more than 7 so far, they look very clean. We are seeing them already, except all these corners which are really, really not important. So let's just wait. I want it to get to like maybe 3 before I close this region render. So even though it did not reach 3%, but this is far clean. It's clean enough. Even if I don't use denoiser, I can still leave it as clean as this. So let me just close this so that it will take its time to render the remaining images. So now I'm going to leave it for about 1 hour or 2 hours before I get back to show you the final image. So let's just wait for it. All right, so I left it for a while. It took a lot of time, not because I wanted it to take a lot of time, but I was doing something else. And since I was not doing anything really on the system, so I just left it to continue rendering. And you can see after like 1 hour, everything was okay to stop, but I left it until it reached 2.41 already now. So it's 2 hours 37 minutes, and it's still going. So normally, as a stubborn person that I am, when it comes to the output quality, I can leave it till 5 hours again and until I see maybe 1.9 1.8, but it doesn't make sense. It's just that I'm like that. I just leave it, especially when it is overnight. Most of the renderings that I do are overnight, so and I know that there will not be issues with electricity and all that. So I just left it. But this is good. This is nice. So let's just stop it. You have to stop it. So when you stop, it's going to load the denoiser now. So it's going to go on for a while. You can see it is loading the denoiser, and the denoiser, normally we don't even need it because this is more than enough, you get. But with the denoiser, you can see what happened around there. Everywhere is perfectly clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the denoiser anyway, so that the impact will not be too much, because in reality an image is not that clean. So we need to reduce the denoiser. And how to do that, you come to denoising here, you elapse it, and maybe we should, sorry, I just discovered that I need to reactivate the windows, so maybe we should put it on 0.5. Okay, so you can see we have those noises instead of 0.65, that we remove a lot of noise. I think the noises are still okay, but this is 4, so this times 4, this is 100%, and this is 400%. So you can see the difference over there, but I think everything is okay. And now we can save and take it to Photoshop for just some little touches, and this is really not needed. If not that, I want to show you how to use the reflect and refraction map, and some little things can be done, but it's not compulsory that you do them because the image is already as good as this. So if you don't change anything, it's fine. But I'm going to be changing something. I'm going to be editing something out. So let's go to where we want to save it. And I'm going to name it render.tif. I mostly save as TIF if I am going to be editing in Photoshop. So I leave it, just all the settings are okay. So I leave it the way it is, and I can choose the reflect tool and do the same thing. So render reflect .tif and save, then refract to render refract .tif. So now all I need to do is to open Photoshop and do the quick work in it. So here in Photoshop, all I need to do is to open the files. So desktop, so I selected the 3 of them and opened them at once. So the timeline, sorry, the interface, let me change it back to workspace essentials. Okay, and now I am in Photoshop. This is the image. The first thing I'm going to do is to come to the refraction, Ctrl A, then I'm going to press Ctrl C, then I'm going to paste it on the render as Ctrl V. You can see, and all I need to do is to change it to screen, and you can see the difference is too much, so I can set it to like 20 or 10. It's just to actually give such effect is not something that I want to be too much. Then I can do the same on reflection, Control V, and screen. So you can see that effect all around. So now I can put it on 30. I guess 30 will be good. Let's check. I guess. But in some, so I'm going to apply something called layer mask. And layer mask is just a mask, just like people use mask to cover something. And I'm going to press B on the keyboard for brush tool. I'm going to come here and change the color to black to conceal some area like this that the glare in the reflection is affecting. So I think some of this area here, I let the effect around here, but I don't want it to be too much. So now it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So just some little adjustments over there. So I think I'm okay with that. So the next thing is I'm going to press Control Alt, Control with my little finger, then the thumb, and the ring finger. I'm going to place it on Shift. Then I'm going to use either of the two remaining finger to press E, and what that will do is it will combine all the images together into one. So I usually go to filter, use camera raw filter, but before I do that, let me zoom 100% and see. Okay, I think everything is nice. So camera raw filter, this is basically what I do in Photoshop. So get started. Okay, and what I'm going to do is really adjust the exposure a little, then drag down the highlights. You can see, drag down the highlight to a BRS minimum. So push in some shadows, increase the white. This is mostly what I do. And push in some blacks also. Then maybe increase the texture a little bit for some level of details. Then clarity. Now that is good. And then the vibrance of the image, make it a little bit vibrant. Then maybe saturation a little as well, nothing too much. So now look at this. Look at the difference. All this area, look at this area, you can see the difference. So I think I'm okay with that. The image, looking at this and that, their lighting is totally different anyway. So, but maybe what I'm going to do is maybe use the curve to push the white a little. Maybe I shouldn't have. Okay, so I push it from the middle and you can see the difference. I think it's cool. Then the next thing is to do the same thing, Control Shift E to combine everything and apply a sharpen filter. So you can see, so at 100% you can see how everything is so strong, sharp, and the details are there. But I think before I do that, I might want to bring out some little details around there. So Control J again, so I can group these two layers and set them on overlay. So having done that, you can see that the image looks somehow. So I'm going to open the group and select the upper layer, and I'm going to give it a vivid light so it is much more crazy now. But on that same layer, I'm going to just invert it by pressing Ctrl I, and everything seems to be normal now. But I'm trying to bring out some details. So for this, all I need to do is to go back to filter, and on the blur, I'm going to use surface blur. So for the surface blur, I can play with the threshold, and you can see how strong everything is becoming. So let's leave it at that. And now it looks so weird. So all I need to do is to press Alt on the keyboard and apply a black layer mask. So now I'll press B on the keyboard for brush, set the opacity to 100, and maybe increase the brush size a little bit, and begin to paint. Okay, it's supposed to be a white brush. Now begin to paint it. You can see how details are coming out. You can see how stronger the details are. So reduce it a little. So then I can actually reduce it a little, because it shouldn't look too fake. Sorry, yeah, look fake. It should blend naturally. You can see it comes out a little bit better. And now I can apply sharpen and use smart sharpen on it. Okay, everything is fine. You can see 100%. You see it's sharpened. But when you are using sharpen, what I discover with a lot of people is that they just leave it like that. But no, because some objects that are far look too sharp as far as I'm concerned. So you will need to press take your brush tool and brush over them. Make sure that they are not that sharp. Maybe objects in front can be sharp, but the objects at the back, they don't need such level of sharpness. Okay, maybe I should leave this. So I think with this tutorial, you can be able to do, a good rendering without any stress as a beginner in, 3ds Max. Now, if you use SketchUp or ArchiCAD, and it's not, what am I saying? It's not like your workflow. So all you need to do is to go to YouTube and search how to import ArchiCAD into 3ds Max. Import what's the name? Import SketchUp. Yes, sorry for the absent-mindedness. I'm just looking at the image to see what can be done. So I don't think all those edges need sharpness, so that's why I'm reducing them. So all this area too, it looks fake, and there are many other things that can be done. Maybe, for example, if you go to filter, you will see lens correction now. Is it lens correction? Yes. From there, you will see chromatic aberration, and you can play with it I'm going to show you what that does. So let's try and look. I'm trying to see the effect. Let me try and exaggerate it. So you see the edges like this, they are going to be having a kind of fringe in colors, but it's not really showing well here. So that's not all right. Well, chromatic aberration happen. I'm trying to see. Yeah, I'm seeing it, but it's not too obvious to explain. So that's the challenge over there. So I'm seeing it already all around here. So you see at those edges, at those edges like this, you see some fringes of color, around there, but they are not that pronounced here. So that's why I said, yeah, you can see them now. You can see all those fringes around there. Let me off. You can see the difference. So now that I have done that, I'm seeing it now. Look at this place. Look at this. Look at all these edges here. Did you see the difference? So those are the stuffs. So it happens generally on images. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reduce and reducing the opacity does not help because the image actually became bigger when I did it. So there's no point in doing it. Let's just leave it like this. I think we are good. Then we can just save. And that's it. That's it. I'm going to save it as PNG now and click save. I don't save as JPEG. And that's all. I hope it's been useful. Thank you very much.